All right, now we can talk about the
Budget amendment.
budget amendment. fiscal-
Okay, so I think Scott did a good job writing up the background here. So the board approved the budget in September. That's the deadline that's required by the state. Once we finished our bond approval, we did the resolutions, the COW meeting in October, and once everything closed up, it was November. And so once we got all the final paperwork and everything, Scott had discussed with the auditor what's the best way to address this. And for full transparency purposes, it's to amend the budget, which the state does allow you to do. But you almost have to like restart the process slightly. And that tonight we're asking the board approve a tentative, amended tentative budget, and then it will sit open for 30 days online and a hard copy in the business office. And then the board can take formal action in April, or excuse me, until May, when they will approve the formal amended 2018 budget. So we, we went back through, and what I suggested to Scott to do is if you look on page, I think it's
113.
115. Is it 113 or 115?
The resolution's on 113. What do you want us to look at?
Yeah, it's
So-
150.
On 115 is
115.
the assumptions page.
So we changed, Scott went in and changed the column, so now it says amended budget of FY18, and then we highlighted in green anything that's been changed, and then we went through in the general budget and just amended that column, so it says amended FY18 budget, and highlighted those 4 or 5 areas that had changes so that they're highlighted in green for the public. Instead of redoing all the columns, I thought it would be best to do that for now for the tentative budget to be sitting on public display. And then we also changed the resolution so that it says the board is approving a tentative amended budget.
Let me read the resolution. Can you-
Sure.
Resolved, Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves and adopts the tentative amended budget containing estimates of amounts available in each fund as an amended budget for said school district for the fiscal year 2017-18, and be it further resolved that this tentative amended budget fund adoption by this Board of Education shall be made conveniently available to the public for inspection for at least 30 days prior to final adoption thereof at the May 2018 Committee of the
22nd.
Whole meeting. And don't we have to post a public notice still on it too?
It's going in the paper for tomorrow.
Do we have to say that in the resolution or not? Don't we do that? We had to follow the same conditions as the original
I don't
budget.
think we did in the tentative.
I don't think on the resolution you have to do that.
We are going to do that.
Yes,
But I'm
we are.
posting it in the landmark tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Wait, second.
So can we get a second? Okay. So just to clarify, you're amending revenues to include the bond refinancing monies that we got in, the life safety new bond that we got in, and the working cash bond that we funded. And on the expenditure side, you're amending it to the use of refinancing the debt. We paid that off with the one debt issuance that we had. And then you're modifying the amount of working cash transfer expenditure
Correct.
between funds.
Yes.
All right.
And then there's also the last, as part of this too, would be, there was a working cash transfer from working cash to capital projects for one additional payment of $70,000. That's also reflected in there.
All right.
And all those are highlighted, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I have one
Okay,
other
let's go for the
question.
vote.
Can I ask one other question?
Okay, hold on.
Please.
Another question?
Are you able to, before we vote on this, take what's on page 118, the summary of all the funds and show how it's changed because of this?
The big picture one. The operating didn't change on it.
Nothing changed?
Operating expenditures to revenue, no, that did not change. I just reflected everything with debt service. The
Well,
increase.
It's all on.
But don't we
What about
don't,
the transfer to working cash?
don't we have the working cash that's always rolled into operating?
Yes.
So then you're going to show
So
a
it shows-
$70,000 additional
Okay.
impact, right?
Well, it would be the 3 million would be in there. It's
That's
reflected
right,
in
that's
there.
right, 3 million.
So the 3,076,000, it's in there.
Where's that?
That's on the revenue side.
On the revenue, yes.
Where's, on the working cash, so we added the 3,076,000. So what was our old, the three numbers at the bottom? How much did that change? Or did it, because you're not doing a working cash transfer?
You have transfers in 541,421, right, Scott?
Yes.
And so our net is 2.5 million in working cash?
Yes.
So on the bottom, where you show the operating fund balance, the percent of operating expenditures, didn't that change from?
That did change. That's reflecting that the additional 3 million.
And what was it before? How did it change? That's the problem. I'm trying to see how is this amendment affecting our budget?
So you'd have to,
I might have to go back and check what the one is
I
online.
mean, again, if the other board members don't, as a majority, but I think it'd be helpful to know how it affects the actual budget. The numbers just show dropping in there, but it doesn't show how it affects what we originally thought we had.
Well, it's gonna increase our overall percentage that we have with the operating fund balance as a percent of that, because you're adding in the additional 3 million into working cash. So it's gonna appear
Can you
as we
just
have.
was that
update and
40,
put the
yeah, was that
original
4609?
Next to it in the change, right down there at the bottom. That's
Okay.
the main thing we wanted.
We can,
Absolutely.
we can do that with a highlight.
Okay. Thank you.
So Scott, on the original budget, you had 425 in working cash transfers, now that's gone up to 521.
We added the 70,000 to it. So if you went through the whole thing with working cash, there's also some of the things in there with how they reflect the actual working cash bond issuance. You'll see that there's a cost of issuance in there.
Okay, and then our operating fund balance as a percent of operating expenditures was 46, and now you're saying it's up to 58 because we got the additional
The
$3 million.
additional money.
But that $3 million, we need to continue to remind the public and the board that that's $3 million has been, we passed as part of our resolution to be held aside to work on the zoo project. Okay, so we just need to update that number,
What it
or
was prior
put
to
next
it.
to it in green so that at least they see old and new. Okay? When we post that publicly.
And one other clarification. Kevin said this rules or the law allows us to do it, but under certain circumstances, you have to do an amendment, don't you? If there's a variation of 10%.
The rule of thumb is if
fund.
it's 10% over what your fund balance, each fund that was over, a purchase of over 10% of it, they recommend that you amend your budget.
Well, we have to do it.
Yeah.
If it's 10% of the line.
We'd be
Right.
well
Do we
over that.
What I want to know is, I think it's a good idea and the auditor said to do it, but were we also required to do it under this rule too?
Technically, you should. It would be the correct way to do it.
Okay.
I've gotten different opinions from different business managers on do you amend the budget or do you let it go? I know that amending it does make it smoother for when the auditor comes in and does the actual audit for it. So they're not chasing down, okay, what did you do?
Well, the ISB budget mechanics says the board action is required to authorize all line item transfers. If the aggregate of line item transfers on a fund exceeds 10%, then the budget must be amended.
So
I don't know if we fit that, but.
I don't think we
just
had a
keep it in-
transfer over 10%.
Yeah, let's just keep it in mind.
Right.
Sometimes you have to do it, right? Okay,
absolutely.
thank you.
All right, go for the vote.
Mr. Smithing?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Ms. Sierra?
Yes.
And Mr. Pritchett?
Yes. All right. We have matters for closed session. Personnel, student discipline, purchase or lease of real property, probable, imminent, and pending litigation, collective negotiation, school safety. This is another opportunity for visitors to make a statement. Looking out there, does anyone want to make a visitor statement? Seeing none, go with the motion to,
Going to
Well,
close.
then you have discussion items. I want to